the scam. The ADC is dead on arrival.
Why do you say so, sir?
When I tell you it's dead on it, of course I know so now, because it was not premised to be a Nigerian political party. Whether we met in the PDP to negotiate on how to unite, or we meet in the APC, or we meet on a different platform, which you call an, it's good that you can use money to buy certain voices. They don't make nothing, and they'll be talking for you. They are not. They don't know what the story is. Peter Obi has run on a no governance party without anything, and he got 6 million votes plus.
Do you think he can get that
Atiku
again?
ran.
That's the question.
He will get
Because
more. He will get more, please. Don't listen. Don't ask me questions of what you rhetoric people don't know. I was there from the beginning to the everybody. Peter Obi is Peter Obi the only human being in Nigeria? There is something they see in him. There is something they see in him that worries them. Peter Obi is a latest thing for everybody. He frightens. He is very popular. That's a way you get big. Your aura frightens people who don't mean well. So leave those issues. Anybody tolerate these people who want to succeed Buhari? Will they tolerate that Tinubu rules for 8 years like Buhari, and then another man from Southwest will not start campaigning to succeed Tinubu? If you cannot tolerate it with Tinubu, why do you want us to tolerate it with you and Buhari? We know the military have done a lot of mess to the country and handed us a manual, who they said is a constitution. We have gotten to a point in our country's history where President Buhari embraced nepotism and used this as an official policy of state.
This one a bombshell. See, take your time, listen to this video to the end. This man, he has exposed a lot of secret again. You know this man, Kachuku. You know this man. What you don't know is bigger than you. This man always exposes a lot of secret. So I want you to take your time, listen to everything he said. You know where this problem started from. Do you understand? You know where this problem started from. This problem did not just start yesterday. It did not start yesterday. Because this country, where people feel, when some people feels like they are bigger than every other person, this country, it is their birthright to have this, to have that, to make sure they are this, they are that. You understand? That's the problem we are facing here. When some certain people or some try look others less that you are not supposed to be here. This thing does not belong to you. It belongs to us. Even if Constitution says they want to go what Constitution says. That is the problem, because after all, there's no law. Now take your time, listen to what Kachuku said. You are going to learn a lot of things or hear a lot of things on this video. Please do me a favor, like, share, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. If today is your first time coming across this YouTube, I'll be your guide on for me now. Subscribe so that you get to see updates like this next time. Let's go there.
Lele Momodu works. He's not a member of the PDP. He works as a staff of Atiku. One, Atiku left the PDP because the governors told him privately that they intend to zone the presidency to the south. Now, this issue didn't start today. In 2015, Atiku, in anger at President Goodluck running, formed a caucus called MPDP. Yes. He used that caucus.
Part of them, they be part of those APCs now in APC.
Yes, so he used that caucus to break the PDP and went to form a coalition with people from ACN, CPC, some factions of ABGA, AMPP led by Bonano, and they came together and called themselves APC. So that was how the PDP lost power. They were told by President Buhari that he would serve a single term. But I think after Buhari got to power, on the mantra of Atiku saying it is the turn of the North, President Buhari got to power, and I think after Atiku saw that President Buhari was trying to organize for a second term of his presidency, he now ran away and then came to the PDP. And when he came to the PDP, and then the PDP understood that the reasons why him and others left was because they did not handle very well the issue of zoning.
When they see their power, when they zoned to the south during
exactly, and that was why the PDP now said, okay, if the reason of the zoning is the reason these people left the PDP said as a way to repair that problem, that it will now zone the presidency to the north. And that was how Atiku Abubakar emerged in 2019, and I served as a member of the presidential campaign team. Nobody from the south contested against the north. Yes. So what we now said, the Atiku ran, Atiku did not win. Atiku then took off to Dubai. He was in Dubai until the end of the Buhari presidency. So as he came back, we now told him that since the presidential pendulum in Nigeria swings between the north and the south, that we believe that the 8 years of the pendulum being in the south, in the north, means that the north has had their own choice. He said no, and in the ensuing argument, he gave 100 million to the PDP NWC that he's using that nomination form. When I went as part of an Ohanese delegation to the home of Mr. Ayocha Ayo in Maitama, Mr. Ayo told me that the money Atiku gave the party, the 100 million for form, the party is broke, and that's what the party is now using. There is no way we can do that. Anybody who wants us to cancel that has to replace that money. And there the party had its deadlock. Later on, we started hearing stories. Atiku said it was Wike, and that if it's not Wike, that he will allow the thing to be zoned to the southeast. So we didn't agree. And that was how I started my internal campaigns in the PDP. I was also able to speak to a friend of mine who I had to on the Abiola Hope 93. When he lived in Lupeju, I lived in Ikeja. His name is Dr. Doyin Ukukwe. And we agreed that we have to do Southern presidency, but we didn't have a candidate. So I looked at different people, and Mr. Pius Anyim couldn't gain traction. Mr. Ohuabunwa is not a member of the party, just came.
You mean Sam Ohuabunwa?
It was just, yes, Mazi Ohuabunwa. He couldn't gain traction. So we were left with Peter Obi. When I first approached Peter Obi politely told me that he would not be able to challenge Atiku. He said Atiku was his principal. I wasn't happy, but I understood this is a principled gentleman who does not want to challenge his friend. And that was how we went back. But I got a lot of people appealing to me that I should not stop. I started visiting some elders in Abuja. I visited Chief SNO Keke Uchendo. I visited Okwadike Emeke Zife. And then I started visiting several places with several other people. I went with Barrister Godson Okoye to the home of Chief Chidolue Patnasonic Nabueni, and we started forming a network of people to try to now talk to Peter Obi.
Okay.
At the end of the day, we were able to beg Peter Obi to agree to run because we needed to have one of us on the ballot. So, and the time we now got that, we now took it public, and that was how the obedient movement was born.
Let's get straight to the bone of contention, which is 2027. There's been a lot of tension around 2027, especially with the birth of the coalition right now. And people don't they worry. Say this coalition, so they don't talk, say the only way to defeat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu now to make sure, say, waiting, everybody join body together. It wouldn't have been a problem. Some people think that it wouldn't have been a problem if, as a Southerner, he remained in power. But because of the hardship, untold hardship, when the administration don't bring for Nigerians' body, there was the need to change him. Now, waiting they go on for the inner circle of the ADC right now. Because if you notice now, if you like say most of the people they loyal to Atiku and Atiku Abubakar himself don't resign, leave the ADC. Now we also hear say from side though, we don't know whether that's true. Say even Atiku, they advise Peter Obi to also resign from Labour Party alongside. And on the other hand, a wing of the ADC, they threaten Peter Obi say if he ever leave ADC, he would have committed political suicide because he go down to leave too many parties. And that one don't reign in reputation. So let's start with the internal wrangling, the internal begin where they go on inside the party. I don't know whether I could start with Atiku side or maybe we even go with the accusation of B0mb Kachiku because B0mb I don't talk say waiting make the ADC chairman collapse across Nigeria, resign, collapse their structure for the David Mark led ADC now because of say they offered them 20 million naira to resign from the position. So all the state chairmen, all of them get to resign because of the money we be say then offer them. Do you know about that and how true is it, sir?
What I would like to tell you is all those things are just rumors and rhetorics by children and people who don't know
So you
nothing.
think maybe it's just angry and bitter?
What there may be, for all I know, it's a politician who, at a point in history, went to the ADC to become their presidential
Yes.
candidate. So it's like the way me and Peter went to the Labour Party. And I'm still grateful that they gave us a platform to market Peter. If a man gives you a platform to market you, when you finish, you can walk away. You don't own the party.
So what's in the
you don't know
state chairman
the
do or no do not supposed to consign them?
Well, you see, most people they do different things for different reasons. For me, I would say don't get too involved in what you don't understand its origin. Okay, if B0mb ran, it's like the issue of Atiku Abubakar and the PDP. Now that the governors have come together and told him that they intend to zone to the south, he had no option than to leave the party. And as he's leaving, the people who are living with him are also his followers. If the party now zones to the south, and then they have a platform and there's a candidate, the party refloats itself. And after November, the party probably will make concessions of giving, say, Imo secretary, I take your Imo, because he already has people who are there. The Mr. Waziri who left and followed Atiku from Yobe, it's because Mr. Damagun, who's from there, will probably also take control of the structures of the party. So these are the things. When you lose out, you could start making noise, but we understand. So if the PDP could concede to Anyanwu, okay, stay and serve at your term till November, and then they have a semblance of peace. You give some to get some. If also giving him the go with your Imo, by November, Anyanwu is that. The governors will take over the party and start to rebuild the party and then do what they want the way they want it. No party is cast in gold or in stone. It's a periodic thing. It's a public property. You come, you use it, you move on. So just to show you, Atiku came in, he used the PDP. Now that things are, the governors have come and I've told him we are going to zone the ticket of the party to the south. And that's why you see him move. So even if he now moved and called Peter Obi there, the fundamental reasons why Peter Obi left.
No, sir, please help us repeat that. Are you saying the reason Atiku has now sent his resignation is because PDP is resolute? Then they make sure, say, they won't zone their candidate or presidential ticket to the south. Now, what you make
Yes, that is what happened. But it is nothing new. The PDP also did the same thing in 2019. They decided that as a way to solve that problem that made Atiku and the rest of the Northerners to go form MPDP,
in
2015, that they will now zone the party's ticket to the south, to the north. So they have done it before. Now they have seen that the reasons why the party became moribund and comatose is because the Southerners left. So they have decided and they told Atiku that they are going to zone the party's ticket to the south. So Atiku has heard this, and that's why you see him left. He has left, and his followers has followed him. The party is still there. So I don't think these things, sometimes you win some, you lose some. I don't see any big thing in it.
So let me ask a question, because people are wondering, why was it easy for southern politicians to zone the candidacy, to make an all-northern primaries happen in 2019 in PDP? And why is it difficult for Atiku to understand that, okay, this time is the time for it? At least we gave you opportunity in 2019. And in 2023, you insisted we threw it open. Can you now let it be, go to the south? Why do you think it's difficult for him to accept that? If what you're saying is correct.
In all fairness to Atiku, it didn't start with Atiku. It started in 1993 with Abiola. You will ask yourself, why is it difficult for some people in the north to concede to the south when it comes to the presidency? Babangida was president for up to 8 years. But when a southerner won the president, people like David Mark said, if Humphrey Nwosu declares Abiola president, that him, David Mark, will shoot in the face dead. So, and you should understand that if those northerners didn't want Abiola to take power, and then it resulted in June 12th. So, and now it got to the time of the presidential pendulum having been flown to the south and north, and then stayed in the north for 8 years. After 8 years, why is it difficult for the northerners to find it easy for the presidential pendulum to now flow to the south? It is when they refuse for the presidential pendulum to now swing to the south, that we now left the party for them and started the obedient movement. And that depleted the
So
ranks of the
why
party.
is it,
And
again,
the
that's the
party
question, why
fell.
is it difficult for them to also give up for Southerners to rule? That's a problem. And I think these are fundamental questions that
Right.
Nigerians need answers to. We need to understand. If South go fit say, okay, we don't do 80s, no could leave you, you do this one. Then I remember that in Muhammad Buhari's administration, there was not much agitation in 2019 to take over power from him. In fact, the election was basically between him and Atiku. He's fellow Northerner. Because, of course, what people thought was his abysmal failure before the 2019 election. So if Southerners did not agitate to take over power in 2019, since Northerners would have just done 4 years, why is it a problem for the Northerners to allow Southerners to complete an 8-year cycle before they continue? I'd like to understand that, sir. Do you have any idea of why that happens?
I will be lying to your audience if I claim I know the answer to that riddle. I don't know. I don't know. It happened with Abiola. It's happening again. That's why when Atiku now called a meeting, called his people, and they said we should go do protest, Tinubu, we said no, we'll not join you in Tinubu protest. You people put him there, and you people did the glitch, and you sold him the presidency. It's not our problem. They came again, they went to the street to do protest, and we refused. We mobilized our people, say, don't join this protest, this anti-Tinubu protest. It's not our business. So I think with time, they now start talking to Peter, start talking to people and say, we have to now do this, let's do alliance. As the alliance started, I told people who talked to me that the fundamental reason why we walked away from the PDP, which now resulted in the collapse of the opposition PDP, is because the Northerners, after 8 years of the presidential pendulum being in the north, are refusing for the pendulum to swing back to the south. And that's all. And for your information, the Northerners have a way to spend money to buy some Southern voices who will now start campaigning for them. Just like when we got that obedient movement moving. There were Southerners who met me, like Kenneth Okonkwo. I met him at Chelsea Hotel, Central Area, Abuja. But maybe he didn't know why we were congregating and the reason for the youth movement. So after the election, he was looking for some kind of gratification, either to be given a position in the Labour Party. Peter Obi just got himself disconnected from it. He said, Peter didn't help him to do this, to get that. And when he started talking about being paid money, I told him we are volunteers trying to do these things for the future. Are you
insinuating that at some point,
children.
Kenneth Okonkwo wanted money to work for the obedient movement?
Well, as you can see, there's not other reason he has left Peter to go to Atiku. Atiku spends dollars. Peter doesn't. You know, he said, I need to give shishi. We are volunteers. And when I'm doing this, what I did, I started from the PDP. It is for the sake of tomorrow. If in a pluralistic country like Nigeria, you do not allow the inclusion of a large segment of nepotism and say it's only the North that will rule, the South won't, as you can see. These people who have now left the CPC faction, a lot of the things they tolerated from President Buhari, they are not willing to tolerate it from President Tinubu.
Why?
So for you to understand, I don't know. This is, now that these things are coming up, you need to ask yourself, how do we sit down to understudy? Why? From the days of Abiola, are the Northerners not willing to share power with the Southerners? This is the problem. So I don't want to start pretending like I have all the answers to all the issues. This thing started with Abiola. It has not stayed here. Atiku told us in 2013 that inclusion through zoning is sacrosanct. That good luck this, good luck that, good luck Jonathan that, good luck Jonathan this. It is the turn of the North. He formed the NPDP, used that to build a coalition, and that was how Buhari became president. Buhari has now ruled for 8 years. It is not the turn of the South. No, he refused. First, you saw what happened to my friend Wike. When they said, the mosque are preaching that nobody should vote for an Igbo man. Wike even now went into heritage acrobatics. I'm not Igbo. Thinking that will get them to accept.
But what would have led to the mosque preaching towards that direction?
So when Wike tried to, say he's not Igbo, thinking that will gain him acceptance, it didn't work. So you can now see where we are. We are now back to talking to the Northerners, and instead of all of us to face this real issue, no, they are telling us to come and fight with them in the mud and get involved with them in a dollarized primary. If Dele Momodu and co who are working for Atiku say that Wike spent up to $30,000 per delegate and Atiku still defeated them, that means it's a dollarized primary. We don't want to get into.
Are you saying that there is a possibility that Wike spent about $30,000 per delegate times the number of delegates?
I didn't say so. It is the thing that Dele Momodu said that, and for him to say that, he must have heard from Atiku. So if Wike spent up to $30,000 per delegate and still lost it, I don't think that's what we want to do. It is the turn of the South. We want the parties and caucuses or alliances to treat the Southerners the same way the Northerners were treated. If we zoned it to the North and the Northerners now got their own time, 8 years, it is not the time of the South. And that's if they refuse to agree to zoning. Why I'm saying this? It is very important that we set these issues. If the Southerners are willing to accept things like quota system, where my son will need to get 320 to get into university, but somebody from the North will just get about 2% or 5% to get into university, why is it difficult for the Southerners to allow us, the Northerners to allow us, the Southerners, gain inclusion? You can see some young people, there are Southerners who are paid to become the voice for Atiku Abubakar. They probably do not know the futuristic implementation of their fully. We are asking for inclusion. You cannot achieve nation building without inclusion of your partners. And this is where these things have very serious repercussions on a plurality society like Nigeria. If we're going to go forward on the Nigerian experiment, we must embrace inclusion. If we're not going to embrace it, we will have problem. So for me, there are no two ways. And I have told people, for us to move forward with what these people are saying, let us go to the root of what caused the crisis, what not made me to start campaigning across the PDP forums, brought it out, then able to engage and then get somebody like Peter Obi to head what we were doing, me and doing Okukwe, and then the youth movement were born. You see why I'm saying this? There are people who just joined us while we have already matured, without knowing what was a fundamental reason that gave rise to the formation of the obedient movement. That's
okay. What is playing out with the ADC right now? Now that Atiku Abubakar has resigned, and we hear that there's perhaps a little bit of pressure for Peter Obi to also resign and join him. What could be the way forward before we get to what Peter Obi may do or would likely do? What could be playing out with the ADC? Because I hear from the grapevine somehow, gossip the carry and say some southern governors that have not decamped to APC, even some of them that are in APC, are already working with Atiku Abubakar on the side for corner, including some southeast governors. How true do you think this is?
Lies. Don't believe all those things. The minute Peter Obi settles on a platform, you will see that Atiku's gambit will just crash. Don't deceive yourself. Don't listen to their stories. The fundamental argument is the inclusion of the southern part of Nigeria in the governance of Nigeria. There are no two ways about it. Okay? So whatever platform it is that Peter Obi decides on, people will come and move on. Forget Atiku. We just have to work with him so that he can start getting ready to go and spend time with his grandchildren. It is not proper. What are we didn't form the obedient movement to make Paul be a president at 80 years. It doesn't work that way, please. People should understand that this is about nation building. I don't know. And who are you talking about? What is the rush? These are the same people that formed the APC. You form APC, a northerner will root for 8 years, you run away from APC, come and say, give you ticket. What for? You want to take advantage of the fraudulent decrees that the soldiers did? No, let us go to the field. Let us go to the field. They say they had everything, but once the electoral act was signed and we knew, you now have to go through biometric authentication before you can vote. That was why those phantom numbers didn't come again from the north. So forget about Atiku. We have come to the end of an era. Yesterday when Atiku left the PDP, there was jubilation all over the PDP. So let him at the convention in November. The governors take charge of the party. I believe they can start to rebuild. If they zone to the south, you will see what will happen. It will also affect different other political platforms. Now that the presidency has been in the south for only 2 years, why do you want to take it back? Why do you want to take it back to the north? What for? For who? For who? For a clean candidate? Atiku? No, come on. Don't Don't kid yourself.
To be for inside northern Nigeria. And now waiting not don't they use hold on. Now remember, say not attend Buhari burial that day, not on the reason use that now. Say we go come for you for not attending Buhari burial. We go come for you. When it reaches time, make it come meet us. Some other people come they talk tell them to say for make it no try to leave ADC. Make it rather sit down for inside ADC so that it go fit match Atiku strength, rather making gather coalition, making that is galvanize people, gather people, build alliances within the ADC. Do you think that there is any form of alliance that Peter Obi will build in ADC that would give him the tickets?
Forget the ADC. The ADC is the scam. The ADC is dead on arrival.
Why do you say so, sir?
When I tell you dead on it, of course I know so now, because it was not premised to be a Nigerian political party. It was just a contrived, article sorted for Atiku to now say he wants to run. It doesn't mean we're talking about nation building. No one man can make himself president. It doesn't work that way. Now that Peter Obi has said he will not join it because of what it is. You've not even joined. Come. We will do primary to what? The fundamental reasons why we left the PDP has not faded away. So whether we met in the PDP to negotiate on how to unite, or we meet in the APC, or we meet on a different platform, which you call an alliance, the fundamental reason for the implosion of the opposition is people led by Atiku Abubakar are refusing that the presidential pendulum, after being in the north for 8 years, they are refusing it to swing to the south for 8 years again. That is all. Don't get deceived by people who don't understand. Most of the people you see making noise are not politicians. They are not politicians. It is good that you can use money to buy certain voices. They don't make nothing and they'll be talking for you. They are not. They don't know what the story is. I am just telling you what it is. Peter Obi has run on a no governors party without anything, and he got 6 million votes plus.
Do you think he can get that
again? Ran.
That's a question.
He will get more. He will get more. Please don't listen. Don't ask me questions of what you rhetoric people don't know. I was there from the beginning to the end, and if we could achieve what we achieved in 8 months, we have more time. Forget the noise. Forget all. Why is it everybody Peter Obi? Is Peter Obi the only human being in Nigeria? There is something they see in him. There is something they see in him that worries them. Peter Obi was in Katsina for the burial of President Buhari, and when they asked him, "Why didn't you come yesterday?" Just like Kwankwaso didn't come the day before, Shekara didn't come the day before. A lot of people didn't come. So
what was the noise about Peter Obi alone?
I couldn't get it. He said because Peter Obi is a latest thing for everybody. He frightens. He is very popular. That's the way you get big. Your aura frightens people who don't mean well. So leave those issues alone. Peter Obi, I don't know the magic he has that everybody has him on their lips. I don't know. I am not a soothsayer. I cannot say. Everybody knows why something frightens them. The man went to see Buhari. The pictures exist. He saw the family, he saw the Buharis, and he met them. So I don't understand the noise. Did he kill the man? No. When Sheikh Shagari died, did Buhari go? No. What are you talking? I don't understand all this noise. So leave those issues. These are just small boys who want to talk and make noise. A man has come for burial. In my place, when you have a burial, the day of the burial is one. Happy Sunday is another thing. That period of mourning, people come from all walks of life to go visit family. That's what it is. If the man didn't come to my house today to commiserate, he comes tomorrow and he says sorry. We will still receive him, because after interment, families see to continue to receive visitors. That's how it happens. Are they going to quarrel with all the countries that never sent a single emissary? What are you talking?
On with what Peter Obi must do. What do you think Peter Obi is going to do? Do you think he rather stays back in ADC and form alliances so that he can wrestle the primaries alongside Atiku Abubakar, or he leaves ADC to wherever he can, and then we'll still have the 3-horse race that we had earlier, which a lot of people are afraid that may just eventually give President Bola Tinubu leeway to winning already, if that happens?
That is not true. Atiku, what magic does anyone has? When the people who are now working with Atiku were in power, they know what they did. And when we ask them, why did you not announce it? They say it's glitch. They know what it is. If they could do glitch when they were in power, who told you that Tinubu won't do glitches if in power? Leave all those people who make noise. Where was Atiku in 2019 when the election was, done the way it was done? He ran away to Dubai. Tell me, I say he was mentioned as second person with all the glitch and everything. What did he do? Nothing. Forget the noise, please. Will anybody tolerate these people who want to succeed Buhari? Will they tolerate that Tinubu rules for 8 years like Buhari, and then another man from Southwest will not start campaigning to succeed Tinubu? If you cannot tolerate it with Tinubu, why do you want us to tolerate it with you and Buhari? Understand what this game is. There are some job men who just come there, you hire them, they go talk for you, go on TV. They don't understand the fundamental nitty-gritty of the question. We want to get to power. We are trying to set standards between the North and the South that our children will inherit. We are making arguments about inclusion. We know the military have done a lot of mess to the country and handed us a manual who they said is a constitution. We have gotten to a point in our country's history where President Buhari embraced nepotism and used this as an official policy of state. Of course, Tinubu is continuing in that state in some way, and that's why you're seeing the CPC faction say they won't tolerate from President Tinubu what they tolerated from President Buhari. Right. We have a lot of, so these are the kind of things we know are wrong about nation building. Just like President Obasanjo said, the constitution can be managed as it is. The problem are the operators. I condemn nepotism the way it is being applied by President Buhari and President Tinubu. I seek a country where the aspirations of our pluralistic society and our diverse heterogeneous country is included in anything that those who govern do. That's what we're doing. The essence of obedient movement is to force inclusion of our diverse population in the governance of our country. That's all we're saying. How do you want you campaign for zoning? You now manage through your efforts. Buhari became president. After 8 years of Buhari, you now refuse that the zoning should not favor the Southerners. I don't understand these things. So when you see all those boys who don't understand, they are intellectually challenged. They don't understand the question. This is the crux of the question. This is the reason I started my campaigns inside the PDP. This is the reason I did all those things that gave birth to the B0mb movement. And I serve Peter Obi as a special advisor on public affairs. And this is what it is. So those who don't understand the argument don't understand.
Do you think if, just like somebody asked here, do you think if the ADC threw its primaries open and not an indirect primaries, they have an open direct primary system, do you think Peter Obi would stand better chance if that happened?
Yes, Peter, every chance. Zone it to the south, to the Southerners. There's no problem with that. Zone it to the south and have primaries in the south. There's no problem about that.
So
if you do a primary now,
is it that there is a set, kind of lack of confidence if it is not zoned to the south?
Listen to me, that's not it. We want to return back to the original reason why I started campaigns in the PDP, which led to the creation of the B0mb movement. Simple.
But this is the ADC. This is the ADC, and the reason I'm asking is that there are some people that have power.
Listen to me. Stop throwing words. Whether it is the ADC, whether it is the CPC, whether it is inside the PDP, the fundamental problem that brought the implosion of the opposition to make us go our separate ways is the zoning. So whether you bring us back into ADC, you bring us back into CPC, have you agreed to respect inclusion through zoning? If you say yes, no problem. If you say no, I will tell you that the ADC is a scam. It's a scam. Because of the desperation of Atiku Abubakar, they will get in the mud. We don't want that. Zone it to the south, as we zoned to the north in 2019. That is what the governors have now told him, that they will zone to the south. That's why you see him leaving the APC. So if the governors now do the that's why you see him leaving the PDP. Yes. That is what it is.
So do you believe that, like Atiku has said, that Atiku does not have any mindset to have a southern presidency, and that's why he's leaving the PDP? That's what B0mb said. That he doesn't believe in southern presidency.
That is the truth. That is the truth. What you see us doing now is his supporters were saying it is wicked. It is wicked. It's wicked. I say no. Okay, fine. Zone it now to the south. Wike is not involved now in the argument. Okay, it's no more Wike. Zone it to the south. Show you a statesman. Show you are a statesman. What? I don't know. This is a simple issue. It is not to go there and start dancing in the mud with anybody. No. zone it to the south, and we can have a southern primaries. Finish.
Okay. So
you will not, after the northerners have ruled for 8 years, you say we should start struggling with them again. It doesn't work.
Okay, so going back to zoning into the south, why it be like say, make I come down to the pidgin English I'm supposed to speak before. Why it be like say there is certain unwritten rules, say Southeast no fit get presidency for Nigeria. Some people don't insinuate that before. Shawari don't insinuate them. And across social media and all that, people don't talk and say no matter what an Igbo man do, he no go fit gets the presidency. And that is why it is hard and difficult for AP to be, not because he's not a good person, not because he's not a good candidate. Do you believe it? Do you believe that?
I don't believe that. That is not true. You saw the results of the election. Peter did fantastically well, beating everybody in Lagos, beating everybody in Abuja. So an Igbo man is electable. So that's just rhetorics by unintelligently informed persons. It doesn't mean nothing. If we are to sustain the Nigerian experiment, we must agree in the inclusion of all parts of Nigeria. If you don't agree, you're setting protocols for dismemberment of the country. That's all. Nobody owns this country. It belongs to all of us. Okay? So I don't think my state has the country's largest deposit, Africa's largest single deposit of gas. Are you going to now kill all of us and seize the gas by force? It's not going to work. So all of us are part and parcel of this Nigerian experiment. Let nobody think the country belongs to them alone. Don't forget the problem. That was why you saw those protests, those anti-Tinubu protests, and you saw that the East didn't join them. This is the reason. So now you finally say, okay, come, let us now plot how to do politics to remove Tinubu. And you want the advantage only for yourself. So we're now reminding you, the reasons why we abandoned you in the PDP and the PDP collapsed is that you refused the presidential pendulum that had been in the north for 8 years to now swing to the south. That's why we left the PDP. If you now want us to come back together, allow inclusion of Southerners in the scheme of things. Some of us are not going to go the way of Wiki to say, I'll bring down the house since you're treating us this way. No, we're doing it by telling them intelligently. It's a simple intellectual argument. So Atiku thinks he can use his money and buy everybody in the South. It's not going to work. That is not true. That is not true. Let us lay this is, just take it from me. This is going to be a fundamental point of agreement or disagreements in our national history. Why is it that some people in the north are not comfortable with allowing the Southerners to also have access to the presidential power? It's as simple as that. It didn't start today. It started in 1993 when people like David Mark said, if Humphrey Nwosu declares Abiola president, that he will shoot Abiola to death. David Mark is among the ADC story people. So I don't think these things have changed. If it has come back now again, and we are still having the same arguments after 8 years of Buhari, something is wrong.
PDP is really its own issue. The Wike issue is still there. Wike, do you see a Wike who was promised to ensure that he would lead the campaign for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, allow PDP to function effectively for a Peter Obi to contest under? That's one. And secondly, the Labour Party is also a fundamental issue. Why you think say go come this safe like this for Peter Obi to contest? Where it be say Chukuchuku no go dey road for her? How possible it be?
There are more than 20 dormant parties across the country. The issue of purchasing a platform is an easy issue. You're talking to me, telling me about money that changed hands, and that was how the ADC will let go. Such money can also change hands, and another platform will be sought. What we are talking is, when is it possible that after the Southerners support a Northerner to power, that it's also okay for a Northerner to find it in himself to support Southerners to power? Very simple as that. This has started from the Bella days.
They will tell you they supported the Tinubu to power in 2023 because without Northerners he wouldn't have won.
That is not true. That is not true. That is not true. They annulled the election, then they wrote something else, and Tinubu told them plain that the issue of June 12th was when a Southerner, Abiola, won election. It was annulled. He should have found another Southerner and given it to, not to now give that advantage to a Northerner, Abacha. And that was how the Southerners came together, from Ezife to Commodore Kano to everybody that joined from the Southwest, and they formed Nadeku. So that Nadeku you don't want it to replace itself. And Tinubu told them, give it to me. I'm from the south. I can do that. They gave him. But they didn't dash it to him. They sold it to him. And that's what he said. So that's why if you come back to him, he said, what is it? Do I owe you? I paid you off. And they don't like the tone. And they get angry. And they are living.
Are you saying President Bola Ahmed Tinubu bought the position of the presidency in 2023 and didn't win?
He said it with his mouth. President Tinubu said that he bought it with his money. He said it. It's on record. He said he bought it with his money. So when he said he bought it with his money, those people that he paid, which he has receipts and records for, they have no right to come harassing him. They sold whatever they sold. And he said, why are you coming to harass me? I paid you off. They get upset. They are decamping. So please, I don't think the presidency that has been in the South for 2 years, Peter Obi will not be used to remove it from the South. To give it to who? To give it to who? So you keep Peter Obi politically, because historically, no Nigerian has survived the vice presidency. The vice presidency is a slaughterhouse. The minute you're a vice president, you're gone. Where's Osibanjo? Look at the fate of Shetima. Who survived it? Good luck was only lucky because of the doctrine of necessity. Atiku has not healed himself from it. So let us be very, very clear about where we're going to. Nigeria, my dear, belongs to all of us.
Okay.
Nobody's going to succeed by dominating me.
All right, so let's look at the alliance within the Southerners.
Stop him from making
let's look at the alliance within the South generally, and let's start with the Southeast. Now, one would have thought that ordinarily the Southeast would have had each other's back, especially seeing that they have a star boy amongst them who's a Peter Obi. That, I mean, if there's anybody who would want to campaign for his success or anything, it should have been his state general, and including all politicians within his state. But it looks like Peter Obi don't face the most opposition when goes for within his state. Now, remember say recently when Peter Obi been getting an interview, when they ask him about black breweries, where he say in build for inside Anambra State. In talk say, that breweries where they say I build. Say now be the highest revenue generating private company or state-owned company right now for inside Anambra State. And to rebut him, or to perhaps fact check him, Soludo or bitterness between Anambra top politicians and Peter Obi himself and other southeast politicians. Why are they not galvanizing around Peter Obi? Like you see the North, gather around each other.
I am not surprised. I call it peer competition. I saw it in 2022 when I started working and going around trying to talk to people that I want to build an alliance for us to support Peter Obi. The biggest set of human beings in Nigeria who sat me down to warn me that I will regret what I'm doing with Peter were people from Anambra State. So, and when I got home, once I told my wife, I said, look at what these people keep telling me. She said, most of them are his age mates. Most of them are his competitors. So I laughed. And I told myself, because I'm not from Anambra State, I don't share their sentiments towards him. And I didn't stop. Those who believed in it. No, it doesn't matter. What about, look, the people who were talking to me were a lot of senior citizens that I respect, some former governors, some sitting senators, some big people. And they said, why are you doing this? Why are you deceiving him? It was me and Doyin that started in the PDP. By the time we got out, the thing took a life of its own.
Doyin left and started speaking so well about Peter Obi after he left.
No. Doyin left because the government came on Doyin and then sentenced him in court for monies he collected from the NSA in dollar and went to change. And they say it was an offense, that he took money more than 5 million naira in foreign currency, and for that he was convicted. And later on, I started to tell myself, Omoba, what is the problem? He said they're even threatening to even bring other rules. When you work with the government at the presidency, a lot of rules are broken. So when they now want to start interrogating you, they will find a lot of things that you did while in active, honest service. Not that you Doyin stole money. Did not. Doyin didn't misappropriate public funds. Doyin was convicted that he received money from the NSA, which he needed to pay his staff, and that by receiving such amount of money in foreign currency, that it was against the law. And they quickly got a judge who sentenced him, and that is it. So they came back to him, and that's why you saw him. So now
are you saying that Tinubu's administration used state forces against Obi to succumb and take back to their chair?
The state, if the state comes after you, the state will do anything they want to do. I think I am lucky. I think I am blessed. And I thank my God for protecting me all this long, because I know some of the things I do in Nigeria, if some people do 5% of them, they'll be in trouble. But I believe that there's a purpose for my life. Look at me. Nobody started protesting the PDP, managed to get a candidate to follow me. And we built the most formidable political organic group in our country's history. That is it. And nobody knows about this apart from